This is Access 2019 Module 05 Part 1. In this section, we're going to be looking at completing a pattern match query. So the pattern match query is trying to find some text that will match a pattern. So for example, it could begin with 824. Or we could say, I want all of the names that have the word company at the end. Or I could say, I want all of the area codes or zip codes that begin with 49. So you can use these patterns instead of looking for an exact value. The pattern match query has to begin with the word like in the criteria row. And then it needs to include a wildcard. We'll talk about the wildcards in a minute. And the text as well as the wildcard need to be included in quotes. This is a query that will be done in design view as well. So these are your three wildcards. The asterisk means that any character or characters can be included. The question mark means any single character, so it could be a number or a letter, but it's only one. And the hashtag or pound sign means any numeric digit, so it's a single numeric digit or one number. We also have to be concerned about the location of our wildcards. So wherever the text is, that's where it's going to be in the field. So if I use asterisk 824, that means it ends in 824. If I use 824 asterisk, it begins with 824. And if I have two asterisks, one on each side, that means 824 can be anywhere in the field. So it could be at the beginning, the end, or anywhere in the middle. Let's go ahead and get into our clinic database. And we'll go ahead and create a query using a pattern match. So we'll start with create. We'll go to query design. We're going to add the patient table. So we'll either double click or click add. When I add my tables, I usually like to drag this down so that I can see what fields are available. If I double click on the name of the table, it highlights all the fields. I can then just grab one of the fields and drag it down, and it will populate all of the fields in the same order that they are listed in the table. This is a quick way to get your fields in your query if you are using all of them. So now we're going to go over and locate the phone field. We're going to click in the criteria row, and we're going to say this is going to begin, it's a phone number that begins with 404. So we're going to say like space, quote, 404, asterisk, and close the quote. Now when we run our query, the first thing you need to do is make sure that only those records that begin with 404 show up in your results. You always want to check your answers after you create the queries and make sure that the records that are showing up are the ones that you would expect to see. So now we're going to go ahead and save our query. So I'm going to come up here and click the Save button. Then I can type in a name, QRY 404 area code. As soon as I make sure it works correctly, I can go ahead and close that query so I have a free workspace again for the next query I'm going to create. And that concludes this segment.